From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may know all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum Hunab Ku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Ayum Hunab Ku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Ayum Hunab Ku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature.
Welcome on this beautiful Sunday evening, July 12th, 2026. We are rotating in at 11 tonight. 11 is the number that is guiding us because numbers are the language of the universe. And so tonight, I have to share why this topic is being discussed tonight. And my sister, Dr. D, will be joining us. She's working on her camera. I think, she's working on her camera. But in the meantime, let me bring you on in with a little tour of the tiny house village that I've been a part of for some 10, 15 years now. It has made my life so much easier. Welcome. Oops, sorry. Let's try that again.
Kabusa enlisi ora korona kokra cross kodo enha na kukabura enha na kukabuch enha anuti madress with mad pushalao on the back with bad to cool type of gal the cooks a hopper a car papa r penenza put the cook on the order go who's to get a limit to order a zempa haka kept patarak a dirke hen Tashia wish you up a sound come on the fear who the kabali a kalat nun.
So Imak is this beautiful brother who I've got to have him back on because he has so much wisdom and his music is just amazing. So thank us because we are so united in my community of family that I get excited just sharing and hearing from my family and friends all over the world now. I have friends all over the world now. So, welcome. Tonight, we got to talk about how being in nature helps us grow, heal, and become more Christ like. Because in 2026, if you were raised in the church, the 2026 goal, growth, evolution is to carry the mind of Christ now. You don't really need to be in the building because the scriptures told us that I don't dwell in buildings made by man. That's what the creator writes. The creator writes in scripture, gave the prophets the word that said, I'm not in those buildings now. And we have just built like crazy buildings all over the world. And we go in there on Sunday and Wednesday, whatever day, and we think the creator is in the building. Well, it's really this building that the creator's in. This temple right here, this is where the kingdom is, the dwelling. So I want to just start by saying I watched a 2-hour memorial service on YouTube, 2 hours at a very denominational church, okay? I'm not going to name it. I don't want to offend anybody. But for 2 hours, because it was a close friend of mine, her sister passed, and I've gotten to know the husband of the sister and the family and all that for 2 hours. 2 hours. I just felt like that was torture. It was cruel. It was rough. It was rough. Because as I'm watching this, all the singing and the words from the scripture and the singing and the words from the scripture, it was so performative. Performative is the only nice word I can think of for 2 hours. And then the spouse of the person had to sit in front of a casket for 2 hours. That person didn't move at all the whole time. I'm watching the whole scene on YouTube. It's kind of cool to be able to sit back and watch a memorial service of people. I saw my best friend get up and she said some more. Her sister got up and said, for 2 hours. To me, that was like so traditional. And what does the word say about, remember, I was born into the Church of Jesus Christ. And so I've been through all denominations except Catholic. I didn't want to go on that journey. So when you've been through all these denominations and you've seen all the traditions of the Christian church, and you sit for 2 hours looking at a memorial for someone who's now in a casket sitting in front of you, that's torture. It's torture to me. So that reminded me of another scripture in Mark, the book of Mark and the book of Matthew, where Christ said to the religious leaders, you nullify my word with your traditions. And traditions being man-made ceremonies, man-made practices, instead of spiritual truths, because today in 2026, it's all about spiritual truths if you want to survive the chaos, the madness, and all the stuff that's going on in this year that is so confusing for many people, chaotic, wars and rumors of war, all of it's going on. So if you really want to thrive and survive, you got to drop the traditions, the man-made rules and programs, and really start looking at spiritual truth. So I was sitting outside this evening, earlier today, looking at this robin. There was a cardinal landed right in the tree next to me, and he stayed. I said, listen, don't go anywhere. I got to take a picture. And he did. He stayed right there. And it was a male because they're bright red. And I took a picture and sent it to a friend. And I said, this male cardinal has been flying back and forth with his partner because the partner is brown. If you know birds, cardinal, the male is bright red. Ah, hi there. There he is right there. Tweeting again. You hear that? Tweet. He's back. See, I just talk about them. They show up. So we got a thing going on. Anyway, these two partners been going back and forth. They must have built a nest because now we got little cardinals flying all over the place. So I'm so excited. So that just makes my day when I can sit there and watch animals do what they do and not be in worry and anxiety and fret. The only time I've seen those cardinals in anxiety, they built a nest right outside my home that I was living in with my former spouse. And I saw them build the nest, lay the eggs hatched, and then I go out there one day and the birds are the babies were gone, and the snake disappeared too. So the snake got in there in the nest and ate the birds, and the babies were, and I'm sure they got over it and laid more eggs and kept moving. But the point I'm making is when you're sitting in nature, there's so much to learn. And we're gonna learn even more. Before I bring on my guest, I want to just play this beautiful video about the benefits of trees, because here's what I there's even more out there now. Here's what I found out about humans. Make up 0.01% of all life on Earth. Okay, we humans in this vessel of clay, we make up 0.01, not 1%, but 0.01 of all life on Earth. And that's the biomass total weight of carbon in the planet Earth. Plants make up 82%, bacteria 13%, and animals 0.4%. So guess how many creatures are in higher numbers than we are, animals, right? So then if you're just counting percentage of animals, humans make up 2.5% of creatures on the earth, whereas so we're 8 billion humans on the planet. Insects are in the 10 quadrillion, whatever that number looks like. They're much more than us. And then all the other animals are in the trillion. So even we're at the billion level. And so the trees, just let's take a look at the trees. We're going to look at one aspect of nature that is here for us to grow, heal, and become more Christ-like. Trees produce what they oxygen, we breathe the carbon, and 20% of Earth's oxygen is where? In the Amazon. But let's just take a look at this video, which I thought was very interesting, very educational. I like to be entertaining, educational, and all that, about the surprising benefits of trees, which are everywhere. Okay, and if you don't have these trees in your neighborhood, that's why your neighborhood is sick and killing people. They had more murders in Chicago this past weekend than they have had in a long time. And then you look at all these people dying and leaving the planet. This has a lot to do maybe with the trees and other things. But anyway, this is a cute little 4-minute video on the relationship between trees and
good sleep is essential to good health. According to the National Sleep Foundation, adults between the ages of 18 to 64 need 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Yet over a third of us sleep less than that. And the most common cause of sleep disorders? Stress. However, there is a great nature-based solution to help reduce stress and ultimately improve sleep. Trees. Trees in greener environments are strongly linked to reduced negative thoughts, reduced symptoms of depression and anxiety, better reported moods, increased physical activities, and increased life satisfaction. While this study had limitations, a before and after study in Japan found that after taking a long afternoon walk in the woods, participants with previously reported sleeping problems ended up sleeping on average 2 hours longer, felt more alert, and were better satisfied with their sleep. With almost 70% of their land covered by forests, the practice of walking in the woods and forest bathing for personal wellness is a lot more common in Japan, but it's steadily becoming more widespread in the United States. Now, before you start thinking forest bathing involves getting naked in the woods, let me set the record straight. You do not need to take your clothes off to go forest bathing. Forest bathing, or Shinrin-yoku in Japanese, is more like a mindful nature walk. It can actually serve as a natural aromatherapy where you are bathing your senses in the forest. A study in Taiwan found that forest bathing helped middle-aged and elderly people have reduced pulse rates, lower blood pressure, as well as improved moods, also known as lower stress. The Journal of Environmental Health and Preventative Medicine also published a study showing a link between forest bathing and improvement in immune system function. Scientists are working on teasing out the direct and indirect impact of being around trees and improved sleep. Granted, with any investigation of this nature, pun intended, more research still needs to be done to understand this connection as well as the universality of these results. But the sheer volume of studies that link spending time in nature around trees with improved health and well-being, irrespective of gender, age, or socioeconomic background, is a compelling piece of evidence. Even if you're not sleep deprived or in need of an immunity boost, taking the time to thoughtfully connect with nature can be a transformational experience, especially when guided by a trained professional. Here at the Morton Arboretum, we have 17.
So, just a quick reminder, as the video says, that being out in nature can help your sleep. Now, I never really thought about that as far as sleep, but yeah, that's why maybe taking a walk, if you're insomniac or something like that, and go out, hug some trees, just spending time with trees alone is going to help you. But my guest tonight, Dr. D, has been a world traveler and camera. Oh, there you are. Okay, she's a world traveler. Can you pull your camera? Because there you go. There you go. Oh, there you go. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. She's a world traveler, and now I want you to share, Dr. D, the latest move you did this year that's putting you in nature more and more and more, and how's it going for you?
My latest move is basically I moved from Guam to Florida, and I got a farm. So we're doing a worm farm. I bought some cherry trees. So we have cherry trees, and I already had my seeds for what we call heirloom non-GMO seeds. So we also planted just a little bit of herbs. We have some thyme. You got your basil. You got your oregano. I have some rosemary. What else I have? I planted some cloves, and we've been taking things like watermelon, and we did a little patch of what we want to call hula culture of, by accident, they were my compost, but I eat calabash gores. So guess what happened at that calabash gore?
Calabash gore? What is that?
It's a squash. It's the green
Oh,
squash
yeah.
and the yellow squash that you eat.
Okay.
So I put it in the trash, and I told my son, put these in the trash. But he put it in the compost. So when it grew up, it started growing the calabash and seeing the little pumpkins. I was like, no, that's not what I want. But you know what? It's all divine time. Divine is doing what it needs to do. So we learn to connect with the earth and put our hands and make compost from, what is it? The board like you get from the boxes. So the boxes, and then we shredded that, and then we also used some coconut husks, put that in there, got the worms going, and we also gave them the leftover, the compost. So we mixed it together so that they have something to eat and break down. So we've been checking on it, putting our hands in the dirt and seeing if they're multiplying, because we're doing a worm farm to have soil. Because if you're from Florida, you know that our soil is really sandy. But believe it or not, a lot of stuff can grow in sandy soil, which I'm finding out. Like aloe loves to grow here, which I'm finding out.
Aloe?
And aloe vera has
Oh,
been growing, well, at least for me.
yeah. Got tons of it. Yeah.
Right. At least for me, it's been growing good. I know the wandering Jew plant, or the mother-in-law plant, they call it, that grows very good, and that's also good for protection. Then you got the snake plant, which is another plant that grows very well in the sand. That's another protection plate for spiritual protection. So I'm learning that. And what we also are seeing, that we have what is the Spanish? I forgot what it's called. Oh my gosh, the Spanish greenery that grows on the trees. It's not Spanish moss. It's Spanish something. But you can use it. You don't want to bring it in the house because it's nine times out of 10 it has bugs. So they tell you to sit it outside. But it does have medicinal purposes. But I'm going to say this: I am not a licensed medical doctor. This is for educational purpose. Do your own research. What you're going to do. We have eucalyptus trees surrounded the area. We also have a lot of oak trees. And this big old beautiful oak tree is split like into three. And in the middle, we want to put a bench that you can just sit because behind it, we have a form of a pond that is not completed. So, being in that, which I love, I have rabbits that are running across my property every single day.
Wow, that's cool.
So we like that. What else we got?
You
We
know
I
what that
live
means, don't you?
no what?
Something about patience. I think. I had ran into a rabbit. I hadn't seen a rabbit in ages, and it was like something like patience. Let me see.
Okay.
I'll tell you. Rabbits are wait means wait.
Okay. Oh, I
What's
have no problem waiting. I've
for
been waiting to do a lot of stuff. But then across, if you look across my yard, you get to see the cows. So we get to see the cows and we get to hear them in the morning. Now, me, I wake up. You would think the birds stop chirping at like 12 o'clock at night, right? No, our birds chirp from morning to dusk. They actually go to sleep a little bit between 5. I want to see about 3 to 5 a.m. and about 8 a.m. they up there chirping again. So today I went to go get my hair done and I get a doe ran across the highway into the forest I seen today. And I wanted to stop so bad and take a picture, but I knew I couldn't do that because I was like, okay, now I gotta figure out why that doe, I seen the doe today, the deer jump across in my across on the highway coming across. I happened to see it over, and as I was passing, it was going into the forest. So, do you know what that means? Seeing a doe deer?
a deer?
Uh
Okay.
huh. A doe. It was a female doe. It was a baby doe.
Oh, a deer, a female deer. Red
I like that.
pockets full of sun. Me a name I call myself. La. Okay, let me see. Deer lure to adventures, move gently into new areas. Follow
Wow.
the lure to new studies. Practical pursuits being bring surprising results.
Okay. I like that. So,
And so
I
what you're describing, my sister, is a lot of divine guidance in your life, which you really need when you buy a new property, when you're doing all these events, when you're doing all this planting, when you're doing all these new things. You gotta have guidance. You don't gotta, but it's so helpful
it helps.
to have guidance to make it like, oh yeah, this it makes it easier, right?
Yes. See, we
Really
got
makes
cranes over here. We got cranes that the cranes actually are with the cows. And I looked at that. I was like, oh my gosh, I get to see this every day. We have goats. My neighbor actually has a goat farm in the back and he sells goat meat. And he also has chickens and he built the house. So the goats are so cute. They'll come out, like I seen it today. My son showed me as we were coming back from getting gas. The goats will get out and get out in the middle of the highway and have no problem just stand there and look at you. Not
oh,
one, but two, like, hmm, now
okay.
what you gonna do? You either gonna stay there and wait until I move in my time. And I was like, okay, my son said, Mom, that means that we need to have patience and just wait when they're ready to go, unless we're gonna take the other way around. I was
Go.
like, I got
It's the
nothing but
rabbit
time.
message again. Wait,
So
just wait.
mhm,
Patience. So you're
yes.
learning a lot of patience right now.
Yeah, we well, I have to. Well, no, you don't have to.
Yeah.
I choose to, and I see it as an opportunity to expand. but I love the fact of putting my hand in dirt. I don't know if anybody else, but the feeling like when we were doing the worms and the warmth from the dirt turning into worm casting and compost where you can actually use to plant other things in a given nutrients, and you can feel the warmth of it because once it start composting, it's not cold, it's warm, it's hot. Sometimes those worm bins get really hot from the composting and them eating in the heat, and I didn't know that these are things that I'm discovering as we're going through this. And I'm learning that the plants, which I've always known, plants have a language. Like when they're happy and they lean to one side or another side, or you know what I mean, or they shrivel up even if you put water on them, if you're not, and they feel vibrations. So when they are happy, they grow abundantly. And I mean abundantly. It's like, okay, I had my grass cut a week later, you couldn't tell I had the grass cut. And
Huh.
he did such a good job cutting the grass. I'm like, okay. Now when we came, the field was it needed to. Now it looks like it needs triple size since we've been here. So it's growing, but it's also sprouting new life all over the field in the back. I'm like, oh my goodness, okay, you're talking to me. What's going on? The trees are continue to grow and sway, and I can tell when a storm is coming just by listening, number one, to the animals when they're getting quiet and not saying anything, and when they know it's going to be a real bad one. Where we had a bad one, it broke a tree branch in the back. And I'm like, okay, we just had 70 miles per hour just pass through us with rain. The other day was 60 miles per hour. But I got the warning ahead of time. And I'm not just saying looking at the sky. We get a tendency, it can look sunny and bright and still start storming and the wind will grow. So this is what I'm learning is just be more observant of everything around you and the things that you're seeing, because everything is playing a part of what this is going to become, and what not what it's going to become, what it is. And I have to learn, I'm learning not to talk about what is future, talk about like it's present, because it is present. It might not be where we can see it, but it is present in another realm, if you will. It is there, it is happening, it's going, it's moving. But really, I love, I have my windows open instead of having the air on, so I'm watching the snails. Have snails that climb up on my windows all the time.
On the
Um,
screen, you mean?
on the screen,
Uh-huh.
on the door,
Yes.
on the plants. I mean, snails are always around, but
Yes.
I've always had that. When I grew flowers, I would always roses in the front of my house in Escondido, California. There was always snails coming up, and I was like, y'all always eating my plants. What is wrong with you? Why are y'all always eating my plants? So then I start talking. I was like, roses, we don't want them. Tell them to go find somebody else. So, so guess what? Eventually, when I started going out there and sitting out there and talking to my roses, guess what? I stopped seeing snails. So then we had a bee
Okay.
issue here. Say that.
I said, okay, you had to have conversation with some of the other plants.
Right. Like this, this is your protection. We
Yeah.
we want, because I had pink roses, I had yellow roses. Yellow roses was for my nana because she loved yellow roses. So I always would grow them. And my daughter loved the pink roses. So I had them out front. I always keep the vines, but that I learned you can clip the vines off and little shrubs and continue to grow them, and they'll grow if you put them in water and let them sprout out. But also you can also use them with other plants that I was watching. Like I stuck it in aloe vera and it started growing. So I like to experiment with my plants, like if they're happy, what they need, and like the coffee. I'll get coffee grinds, which I'll go to Starbucks because I don't drink coffee. So Starbucks, I found out, will give you free coffee grinds.
Oh
All you
yeah.
got to do is ask for them, and they will give them to you.
Yeah. Now you said you had cows as neighbors, right?
Yes.
You know, the first time I grew tomatoes,
Mm-hmm.
I had been getting some dried cow dung from a farm up the road. That
Right.
works wonders too. I
That's
wonder if
good.
you can do that with your ass and make sure it's dried. You don't want no wet stuff. But if you get the dried cow dung, that helps your compost. Put
Yes,
that
it does.
in compost.
Yes. Also, what I learned out, what people don't know, there, if you have an area, you can get free wood chips from arbors. They will deliver it to you, and you
Yeah.
can put it around your plants. So if you're doing something like we call keyhole gardening, or what other would say raised bed gardening, you can actually use that. You would basically put the cardboard down, and you can put the wood chips down, and you can also put, because they'll ask you, do you want the chips or would you like a combination of both? And they'll drop it off, and you can use them, and you'll be surprised when you do it that way. Especially for the key hugger, you're not going to get weeds. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I'm these are things that I'm learning as I go, because this is not something I did when I was a certified farmer in Guam. I didn't know that. But then again, that's a different place. This is different. So I'm learning a lot of stuff. Like number one, which people probably don't know, Florida has a native soapberry tree here that is native to Florida that you can take and actually make soap. So
Soap. It's called soapberry tree.
it's called Florida native soapberry tree.
Wow. Okay.
So you can take them just like the soapberry nuts that you get from India and make soap berries out of them and actually wash with it. Another herb which I like is called soapwort. That you actually take the plant and it builds up soap and suds and you wash with it. So these are the things that I'm learning with nature. Like everything has a cause because we burn stuff. So the ashes, I don't know if people know, back in the day, they would take the soap ashes and actually make soap with it, with the tallow from the different animals. Or they would take it and actually cleanse their meat and purify their meat with the soap ashes. So it's so many things that I'm learning, because my goal for this is to be a zero waste farm, that we're not wasting anything. Everything is recyclable. Like even they left some windows that have been here in the shed. They were they've been here since 1942. Have old windows. So we have them, and they're considered antique, and they have the old fashioned thin glass pane, and you open. So I have two of them. So I decided we're going to do recycle and talk to them. So getting back to nature, um, I talked to a gentleman. We're going to see about maybe even doing a workshop here with some earthship, or evil they called cobstone, which is really good. And that's using all the material that is out there, from the straw to the dirt and the sand, and actually making a house out of that. So again, that is a zero waste thing that you can do if you want to. This is up to you. You know what I mean? Which
Yeah.
I love.
Now, have you ever been homeless or unhoused, as they would say, in your?
Yes.
So,
Yep.
when you think about all that time you spent, were you spending it outside, or were you just unhoused and in someone else's house? What
No, I was living in my car.
living in your car? So,
Yeah.
how much time did you spend outside of your car when you had that lifestyle, or when you were on that journey?
I was 70% out of my car anyway,
Yeah.
because I'm at the park, I'm at the beach. I could take a shower, which is different here in the US, to be precise, I was in Hawaii on the Big Island, and
What a
our
place to
beaches
be homeless.
where I could be on the beach and you could take a shower there in the we have where you come on the beach, you come and you shower off, where you can go in the restroom and you can go in there, wash up, take a shower. It's a sink. It is beautiful. And then they have picnic tables. So all you got to do is set up and do a barbecue and guess what you're cooking. And then they also for the bigger ones, you have the big barbecue table that you just put some briquettes and cook. So it wasn't no big thing. If you want, you can set up a tent on the beach. It's not like it is here. Um, is to be I chose to be without a home so I can save up for the thing that I want because of the lifestyle that I wanted to do. So I enjoyed that. This allowed me to get the massages that I needed to do for healing, paying out of pocket. This allowed me to get the treatment that I needed to get for my body to heal versus living in a home. Unfortunately, because of the expense, I wouldn't have been able to afford the treatment that, I would say, sustain my life and getting that because I was getting Thai massage treatment, which is not like the average massages that people get. Um, is totally different. It's you're engrossed, you're active in a Thai massage
Well,
versus laying on a table.
so how would you, when you look back during, how long was that period for you?
About 6 months.
So during those 6 months, think about what was your mental and emotional state like compared to times where you were living in a house or in a residence for a longer period of stay, not 70% in nature. But what was your mental and emotional state like for 6 months living in your car? Were you sad, depressed, or were you
No, I was free. I was happy.
you were feeling
Uh,
free and happy, huh?
yeah, because I wasn't enclosed. No disrespect. I like that I have a home, but I feel like I'm in a cage. Like here, I need to push out my walls so I can feel I need an outdoor kitchen screen because I feel so disconnected, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
When I am outside, I slept outside, so I got comfortable. When I lived in Guam, I had a house, but guess what? I would put up my hammock and sleep outside. When I was in Mexico, my house, I slept outside and didn't have nothing to worry about. Would I do that in some of these parts of America here, where I'm at now? But no, I wouldn't feel safe. Like somebody's not going to do something because my stress level, I will say, since I've been back to the mainland, is really stressed out because of the vibration and frequencies that we have here and the disconnect. Where I was, I felt connected not only to nature but other beings. It was not me. It was like, how can I help you? And I was part of my community where everybody looked out in Mexico when I lived there. When I was in Thailand, everybody looked out for me. I could be on the porch, oh, Dr. D is not on her porch today. Let me go check on her and see why she's not sitting on her porch today because she comes out and have tea during the day and she has tea at nighttime. My landlord like literally knocked on my door. You must not be feeling well. I'm like, why? Because she said you literally sit out here every day for a good period of time and eat or drink your tea. And then before you go to bed and you shut down, you're sitting out here. I would watch the sunrise and then I would watch the sunset. And then I would go in my house and then I would read a book. I listened to music. I was never a big TV person. I was a big book person. And I mean, not the square kind that people, those ebooks. I mean, a real book that you turn pages like one.
That's
Okay.
becoming outdated.
Right. So for me, and listening to different music from classical to different jazz to country or whatever that I was in at that time, to even Thai music. Mandarin music or Hawaiian music. It all depends. I like the ocean. So for me, I miss going and putting my feet at the ocean. I would go to the ocean every night before I went to sleep in Guam. I would, when I was in Clearwater, I would try to visit the beach in Clearwater and listen to the sounds. And I could tell when a storm was coming. You can tell, when a flood was coming. I don't know what about why I am so connected to water and when destruction or whatever, but ever since I know why. My grandfather was born on a reservation here in Florida somewhere. And he was adopted, him and his brother. Their family was separated, him and his mother. They separated them off the reservation and put his parents somewhere else. We don't know. And then he was adopted and shipped to up north. We found out. Him and my uncle, and they grew up together, and a couple adopted them and changed their name to the adoptive name. So he's from Florida. um, we always seen people going to Florida but never thought about it, and I think that's why I keep returning. So evidently I have to do some ancestral work finding this, because I've been back to Florida about 6 times.
Really?
Yes. I've, we lived here. We've lived in Orlando, no, Kissimmee, or Celebration as they want to call it. It's Kissimmee, far as I'm concerned.
Right.
We lived in Celebration. Um, no big deal. We lived in Clearwater, me and my son. And we lived in Tarpon Springs. There, and now we're in Fort Meade. So I've lived different parts, and I was also stationed in Orlando, Florida. That was the first place that I did my boot camp. They sent me to Florida, and now I see the connection. Like, okay, it's something with my ancestors, because they kept bringing me back. Um, and they were like, when you keep coming back, even back to Hawaii, if I'm going to go somewhere and return, it always go to Hawaii or Florida. They're the two states I always come back to: Hawaii or Florida, Hawaii or Florida. Um, I don't know why at the time.
Well, it seems like you're looking for a place that, number one, reminds you of a peaceful time in your life, a joyful time in your life. And
Yep,
even if it was in the past, you want to bring that into the present, right? So
correct.
you're now in a place to create that. You have to
Yep,
create that peace, and you're going to create it on your new land with animals and trees and events and
yep,
activity. So it's like you've got to not so much think about what happened with your ancestors and all that, but just bring the energy of the memories that you had into your present situation, right?
right.
Because you're not going to bring grandpa back or any of
Oh
these people
no.
back or any of that. Right. But like you, I love the water. I love the water. I had a very close, significant other who lived near the water, and that's what attracted me to him is Melbourne. Oh, I can go to the beach. So I was at his house a lot because he was 15 minutes from the beach. I could go to see the sunrise. You cannot see the
Yes.
sunrise in here over the water in Orlando. There's no water to oversee it. So you got to go
Right.
to the East Coast to get a good sunrise. So I love that. But now what I enjoy is the sunset. I have a view of the sunset in my yard, and that
Mhm.
brings me this almost the same contentment. So
Right.
we are creating in nature what we need to bring us peace, right? It
Correct.
doesn't matter where we go, but your music, if you have had all that beautiful Thailand music, Hawaiian music, I've been to Hawaii 4 times.
Hmm.
What I love about Hawaii is the breeze. You cannot beat the breeze everywhere you go. Like, you get off the airplane, there's no windows. Everything is open, and you
Yes.
feeling this heavenly breeze. Say, "Oh, this is nice." And then we got to our condo 6 hours later after a 6 hour traffic jam. We got to our condo that we were staying in, and we're like, "Where's the air conditioner? Where's the air conditioner?" We opened up the windows, boom, air conditioner. We were right on the
Right.
beach. So we have to create those moments wherever we are, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's why we're trying to encourage those of who are listening tonight, those who will see this later. When you have a physical challenge, when you have a health challenge, many people think they need to go see a man in a white coat. And
Right.
that is going to result in prescription meds. And so we're talking about the joy and the healing and the peace that you find when you're just going out in nature, going next to the
Mm-hmm.
trees, going next to I lived next to cows and horses in for 5 years in my tiny house on wheels. I had horses on one side and down the way cows on the other side, and I was just in heaven at that time
Right.
because
Yes.
they're just seeing their life eating grass all day. Simplicity. I think that's what, we complicate our lives with all the stuff we put inside this building, and we try and then we think that's supposed to bring us happiness. Well, the creator says, you nullify my word with your man-made traditions, man-made ideas, that bringing more stuff into a building is going to make you happy. And then that's when you have hoarders, because they think, oh, the more I get, the more I'll be. Oh, I just need one more thing and I'll be happy. One more thing, I'll be happy. And then you can't even move in there. And here's the real problem. You have reduced the oxygen in your house with more stuff in there. You're only going to get more oxygen if you hang around the trees. So
Bingo.
hanging around trees is what your body needs, because what do we promote? Deep breathing. Deep
Yes.
breathing is what brings balance to this temple. And if you're stuck in your house all day and not getting any sunshine and not out there with the trees, you're lacking in oxygen.
Bingo. I
So
concur.
I know you and your son are, you've been telling me, I visited her place once and I saw, wow, all these trees are amazing. So what are you doing every day you say you open your windows for one, right?
Yeah, my windows have to be open. This is a my grandmother. I'll say my great grandmother. Her tradition is all the windows every day, open every single window every day, because and then sweep the floor, and you sweep all the negativity out the door, all of it, and you sweep it out the door. So I kind of do this. She take the sheets and the blankets every single day and flip out the dust and the dirt and whatever. So I build that same tradition. So when I do that, that's a morning thing. Open all the windows. Um, make sure that I'm flipping the sheets and I don't know what they call them. I just flip the sheets and get the dust and the dirt off. But shaking the sheets out. That was a tradition she did every single day until the death of her day, the day that she passed away. That was something. And you sit and she would have her cup of coffee, but she would be in the kitchen. We had a porch in the back, but every day she would sit out on the porch and drink a coffee in the back. And then at nighttime, but when the sun was going down, she would sit down on what we call the cellar porch and sit down on this little thing, the cellar box. I don't know if anybody know what a cellar box is, but okay, you have a cellar, a basement, and in the basement back in the day,
Oh,
they used to have a coal where they used to give the coals. So we call it a cellar box. So she would sit on that cellar box and just watch the sunset and sit out there. So in the way I do the same thing, I take my chair. I have a chair that I have outside by my worm farm, and I sit out there. I had put a tent and the tent blew away because I was trying to make my little piece that even though my you can't walk out the door, I have to walk all the way around and through my garage to go out there. I was trying to create my little piece, but the wind came and took my little tent down. And like,
oh,
us okay. I was like, but I said, you know what? That's not gonna stop me. I
right.
got my chair sitting out there. When I go out there, I can sit out there and watch and I hear the birds. Like I hear the birds every single morning, every single night. I like that I can walk down the road And I looked, I said, you know what? These birds, these cranes are with the cows. When the cows eat, the cows are not even moved, the cranes are not even moved. And then I go further down the road, there's horses. So not only I got orange orchards, I got cows, my neighbors got goats, they got chickens. So I have cattle rancher, like he's a cattle rancher. I have three of those around me, and then I just have a person that has they have two goats and chickens. So that's basically it. So for me, I get to hear the cows. I can hear the cows in my living room if I'm
You know
sitting
what?
out
You
there.
know what, Dr. D, as you're talking though, we look for hertz 5428 hertz music. When you go searching on YouTube for healing music, peaceful music, they say, well, look for a certain hertz music. Michael Jackson's song, one of his songs, they'd say was in a certain hertz level. The
Right.
sound of cows and birds and all that is got to be a level of healing hertz sounds, because
I believe it.
hearing those birds, like just like you, when I hear those birds in the morning that wake me up, that sound just penetrates to my brain and just soothes my brain. It,
There you
when
go.
even though it wakes me up, not like an alarm clock. When you hear those birds, it's like, oh, I'm
Good
in
morning.
I'm in heart. Good morning, grand
Yes.
rising.
Yes.
I am in. Here's what it is. I hear
Harmony.
this. We are in harmony with the Creator's love and energy.
Yes.
When we hear those sounds, it brings healing because we are in alignment with the sound of nature and the sound of the universe and the cosmos. That's why those nature sounds are so important, even on YouTube, because they bring our body into harmony. If we are having conflict inside of us, disease, stress, just hearing birds and bees or cows, like you're lucky
Mhm.
to have the cow moo, and the
Yes.
trains. I heard that all while I was in the country, and I was never stressed in the country when I was out
Yes.
there. Hardly, never. I didn't have a stress because there were just too many sounds of nature out there.
Right.
And people really need to get out of the city. I see higher learning. Zelda is really one that loves to get out and hug trees. Nature, she said, just sat in nature all day playing with my Bidwist friends, Bubble, what are you? I can't read it.
Buddies.
Buddies
That's
at
it.
the DuSable Museum in the hole. So many trees there, simply heaven. Oh yeah, I know
Yes.
it is, right, and it's right near a park too, not far
Right.
from a park. So she was in an environment with a lot of trees, and then just being in that
I
one
like
space
that.
outside. And then she says sat in the sun for 2 hours in Florida while she was ill when we went to swim with the dolphins. Oh yeah, she was here with me. After 2 hours, I walked all day with no pain. Mother Nature heals when you let her. Ashe,
Yep.
ashe, ashe. Oh, and there you go, a testimony of no pain. If we could stay in the water, in nature, we would be pain free. I remember
Right.
my granddaughter when she was about she's 12 now, so she was about 5 or 6 years old. We went to the beach for the first time. She was in the water in the beach. She looked up at me and said, I feel so alive. I actually have that picture. I might try and pull it up. And when I tell her that today, she doesn't even remember it.
Of course not.
I remember I looked down at her and said, yeah, you do? Okay. I said, this is something we got to keep going now. And then it came to a point where she didn't even want to go to the beach. And then this last time, she had so much fun at the beach. Uh,
Change.
it changed. So seasons of getting into nature, getting your phone, new tablet, and you get out of nature. And I just have to pray for my whole family because they're so attached to those phones
A
that was drawing people away from nature and sickness.
disconnection. It's disconnection from
Disconnection.
others as well. Another thing that I love, I had an Echo Dot. So my dogs, I know this might sound crazy, I would have them listen to whale sounds for them to go to sleep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So for me, I love whales. I always wanted to swim with whales. I have this thing about dolphins. I have this thing about mermaids, and people are like, I don't understand. Mermaids do healing. So if you're great to encounter being with dolphins, they had dolphin births at one time. I don't know if they still do it here or they can do it here, but people can give birth in the water with the dolphins, and the endorphins from that is so high that they don't need pain medication when they're giving birth. And that child seems to have the connection to the ocean and be more spiritually aware when they're born. And that the studies that have been done of the births of the women giving birth with the dolphins in the water, and they will get together and put a circle around the woman as she's giving birth. They can feel when the child is coming because you're coming back to water. Oh, isn't she cute?
That's the picture when she said, I feel so alive. Look at that.
Yep.
Innocence, the innocence of a child. I just love this picture because that has changed over the years.
And it'll
Really.
continue to change. It's called growth, and they got to just find their ways. And the thing is, I learned it's not our response. We can tell them, and whatever they know, you planted the seed. You've
Yeah,
given them information.
when they're old, they'll come back to it. You know, the thing
Yes.
about pregnant women, my son works at Discovery Cove with the dolphins.
Uh huh.
So they will not allow, they tell you if you're pregnant, you can't swim with the dolphins because the dolphins get too energized from that. They know.
Mhm.
They know when there's life growing in a human, and they will
Yes.
be trying to like attack, not attack, but they will just get excited about having a pregnant woman in the water. So they tell women, no getting in the water with the dolphins if you're pregnant, because they're very sensitive
Mm.
to that. Isn't that something? They're very sensitive to that energy growth going on, that life development going on in the womb. They will know, and they will be trying to get close to that woman. So I guess
Yeah.
it's just too
Because
risky.
it's a protection. That's
It's
what they
too
do.
risky for
They
them.
put a protection around the woman until she's ready to give birth. That's why
Yeah,
I said they were women that were giving birth and they couldn't understand it. And what they found out, the dolphins were circling the woman as protection. So no predators or anything can come and take that child and they can enjoy life. That's what I loved
yeah.
about that. But I love water. I just
Oh, me too.
really love water.
What's your birth sign? What's your birth sign?
I'm a Libra, but I don't act like a Libra.
Okay, that's funny. You're not really a water sign, but you must have water tendencies or strengths or something. You must have a water sign as your alternate or something. They say
Well,
that the birth signs that we have known about all these years have changed or shifted. So some of us are not really the same birth sign we were born under because of the
right.
way the earth has changed and all that. So that's probably why you love water as much as you do.
Hmm.
So how can people get a hold of you? What's your website, your email? How do you want people to get a hold of you?
Oh, if they want to get a hold of me, they can go to Dreams to Reality Ranch. It's Dreams and number two Reality Ranch Farm on YouTube, or 963B for you on YouTube, and just leave a message and I'll be sure to get response. I'm all over the place. All you got to do is just, if you Google Dreams to Reality Ranch Farm, you'll find all my contact. All you got to do is put Google and you'll find me. I have so many different channels.
Okay, so Dreams to Reality Farms.
Dreams to Reality Ranch Farm.
Okay, that's YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and
I
what's the
answer
other one?
963B for you.
Oh yeah, I know that one. B for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's your other YouTube channel.
Yep, but it's all my social media. All of them are TikTok, Instagram. What is the other one? Uh, Snapchat. I found
Now,
out, and Rumble.
are you on Facebook under what? 96. No, you're not on. What's your name
I'm
on?
under Dreams to Reality Ranch.
Okay, Dreams to Reality Ranch on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and then 963B for you on YouTube, as well as Dreams to Reality Ranch Farms
Farm.
on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. So
Yeah.
you can reach my sister on any of those, and follow, find her YouTube channel and subscribe as we do here. I know for those of you who are not subscribed, please subscribe, and please check the bell, and
Yes, please.
so we know that this encourage, we really, our goal tonight is to encourage you to get out of the house, and that's what tiny living is all about. When you're in a 8 by 20 house on wheels, as I was, I didn't stay in that house very much. I
Right.
I was there at night, going to bed, doing my shows on my computer. But during the
Right.
day, I had so much nature. There was a lake down the road I could walk to, and there was
Nice.
horses and cows. I walked all around that place and just stayed outside. Please, 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 folks. While we're in summer, while the weather is nice, get out of the house. And my sister Zelda Higher Learning TV show, she has on her Monday morning mindfulness show. She brings us into nature with her garden, indoor garden, and her bell
Nice.
incense. So you feel like you're outside when you join Zelda on Higher Learning TV show, on her YouTube channel. So
Nice.
I don't know if Zelda's still here. If she, I don't know what her show title is tomorrow. I usually give her title. If you want to put that in the chat, Zelda. But any other words of advice, Dr. D, on just living on the land? What would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned in Florida since you now on or have this land, and what you want people to know if they want to buy land?
My biggest thing is that make sure you know what you want. And this is, and I'm glad I said this. When I bought my property, I told the agent I needed water rights, mineral rights, and people don't know that. There's difference. You can buy the surface, but if you have come from mining, you after 30 years or something and they come back and the company owns that, do you know they can come back and get your land if they're oil struck? So this is something that I did learn. So everything that I was saying prior to, I ran into someone that told me, "You're smart. You did the right thing. Most people don't ask for their water rights. Most people don't ask for their mineral rights." And she was surprised. And she works for that person that does the mineral rights. So she said that is a key point. Make sure in your documents it must say you have water rights. Even though you have a well, where's that water coming from? And they'll say, "Oh, I grandfather you in." What does grandfather you in means? If someone blocks off your water, guess what? You can't do anything because they're blocking off the water on their property. So these are things or key points we need to know. Be very prepared and also know what you want, and don't settle or let someone talk you into getting something they feel is for you. If it doesn't feel right, don't go with it. If it feel right, go with it.
All right, that's something that seems to be coming up more and more. Water and mineral rights. When you buy land, be sure
Yes.
that you're getting that from on your property. That you have that on your property, because that's
Yes.
important. Let's just take a few minutes. I pulled up this Kaya meditation video that I really love. Let's just take a few minutes to breathe together and remind ourselves about getting out in nature to get more oxygen. Even if you're inside your house and you're doing your meditation, if you're not outside, meditation. So let us take a moment, close our eyes, and breathe in the sounds of the breathing in and out through your nose, and out through your nose, or in through your nose and out through your mouth, whatever feels good. So be sure and find your best favorite music every night before you go to bed and do some stretching at night. Stretch your arms up and on the floor, and that'll help your body relax more. And find some music on YouTube or pull up your own channel and find some relaxing, peaceful music, sounds of nature that will help you align yourself with the creator's rhythm. It's the rhythm of nature that brings us into alignment with our creator and the universe and the cosmic energy. So thank you, my sister, for joining me tonight for the conversation about life in nature. That's what this is all about.
I like that.
One of these days we're going to get together again soon. Let's stay in touch.
Definitely will. Thank you, guys.
Love you. And to my friends, namaste and sat nam. Aho, aho, ashe, 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 shalom. Have a wonderful evening and a great week.
Part sad, I knew get a horse, we can pop my good ass. I knew I would for no pop a lag. I knew I got what you I could get that. I knew could do on the culture that ain't yet. I knew could do la mother was part of that. I do be pop that, the guy was I knew but now that's super do I got no horse. The cook could put it in hot, yeah, the cook could put it in hot, yeah. Then I could was in this.